it's Pastor Rachel here. So I'm coming to you with another Monday Minute today, and we're talking about traditions. I got a lot of them from this book, The Memory Making Mom, which I've talked about the last couple weeks. This is one of my favorite books. I give it to at every baby shower I go to, because as a mom, it really helps you think about how to intentionally create memories with your kids. And so, we talked about resurrection eggs, how you can use that to tell the Easter story with your kids and make a really meaningful memory. We talked about a family adventure. We talked about how we go to Cranex. We love that as one of our holiday family adventures. Today I'm going to give you two different ideas. Depending on the age of your kids, you could do both. You could do one. You could do, the other one. It's really up to you. But two other traditions that you could start at your house that might be fun to do. So the first one is you could do a movie night. So obviously everyone that are on these parent pages and our parents in our churches, in the church, you have kids of all different ages. And so I'm going to give you two recommendations for movie choices. So one that you could do if you have younger kids is VeggieTales has excellent Easter story movies. Some of their Easter movies are some of my favorites for if you have littles, if you have toddlers, if you have preschoolers, even some early elementary kids. VeggieTale Easter videos are super cute. Great way to do a family movie night. Pop some popcorn, get some toppings for your popcorn, make it a really fun, adventurous thing for them, get them excited for it. So you could do that if you have littles. If you have kids that are a little bit older, one thing that I like to do now that our kids are upper elementary and close to teenagers is watch The Chosen with them. And watch the ones particularly around Easter, around Jesus' resurrection. And it really gets them to think about the reason why we're celebrating. It's not to get a basket filled with like some cool little trinkets and some candy. There's a reason behind it, like we've talked about every single week. So that's one suggestion I have for you to create a tradition. Do a fun movie night each holiday. And like I said, you can always use VeggieTales. That's always a tried and true one with younger kids. With older kids, you can use The Chosen. You can do the same thing at Christmas time. Another thing you could do is one of my fondest memories I have with my grandmother is when I was younger, I would always go to her house and bake cookies. I baked Christmas cookies with her, and she had, a certain recipe that we used, these sugar cookies. They weren't complicated. They weren't anything like super impressive or bakery worthy, but it was me spending quality time with her. And so I remembered that. All these years, I can vividly remember myself back in her kitchen with her making these cutout sugar cookies. And so that's something I love to do with my kids, is we use the same recipe. We make sugar cookies. We do the cutouts. I like to use actually Miss Kim Betancourt's Coffee Mate buttercream frosting recipe. It's one of my favorites. It's super easy. But I have so many pictures of my kids, different holidays, making cutout cookies, whether it's Easter or whether it's Christmas. And like I said, I use my grandma's cookie recipe. I use Miss Kim's icing recipe. But it's just a fun way, even as they're older now, it's something that they still enjoy doing. They still enjoy being in the kitchen with me. It allows us to have great conversations while we're baking them and while we're icing them. And so, again, like I've said so many times, please, I'm encouraging you. One of the best gifts that you can give your kids is spending time with them and creating memories with them that they're not going to forget. When you are there for them, they remember that. They remember that you did certain special activities with them, or that you showed up at a certain event that meant something to them. Those things matter. And sometimes as parents in this world that we live in, it is so easy to get consumed with our work, with, all we need to do in our homes, with, trying to keep up with our kids and our marriage and keep our relationship with God first, that you get overwhelmed with a to-do list. Now listen, I love a good to-do list. I'm working off of a to-do list today because I have so much to do. And sometimes when my mind feels like, wow, this is a lot, getting it on a list helps me. But I would encourage you, sometimes the best thing you can do is put away the to-do list, put away your phone, and spend quality time creating traditions and memories with your kids. That's one of the best gifts that you can possibly give them, is to do that. So hopefully this series has helped you to create some amazing traditions in your home, not just for Easter, but it's helped you think outside the box as a parent, to think, okay, what memories do I want them to have? What core memories do I want them to leave our home with when they leave someday to go to college or trade school or get an apartment, whatever it may be. And if you're really intrigued by this and you want more about this subject, like I said, this book, it's called The Memory Making Mom. This is the book. You can get it on Amazon. It is one of my absolute favorites, like I said. Those traditions mean so much, and I think we can all think back in our lives and remember traditions from our childhood or our teenage years or young adult years, and even ones that we carried into our own families. When we had our own kids, we said, like, I definitely want that to stick. I want to do that with my kids. And obviously spiritual ones are really important, and that's why we started with those ones at the beginning of the year. But sometimes these fun, activities and cooking and doing different things together, those can be some really fun things too. So I'd encourage you, figure out what those are for your family. We hope you are having a great week and getting ready for Easter, and the week, this week leading up to Easter, that you are preparing your heart just to really reflect on why we are celebrating Easter Sunday and that amazing resurrection that happened and what Christ did for us on the cross. So we are praying for you. We are cheering you on. Have a great week.